Welcome to another exciting edition of the program. This is the Counter Diary. Counter Diary, we are telling you the untold stories of Liberia. My name is Emmanuel Kotu. And I say welcome to another exciting edition of the program. And this is the program that tells you the untold stories of Liberia. And guess what? Today I'm so excited. You know why? Because my viewers out there have been yearning for a beautiful place in Liberia. They are thinking where to get land, where to build their houses, and they want a modern area where they can consider to be a home, right? So you know what? I got something special for you on the show today. We're talking about the Xity, the first modern city to be built in Liberia. How about that? But before we go into this, please make sure you hit that subscription button. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos, okay? So now, behind me here, this road leads to the Lloydsville, and go to Charlesville and then head to the Robert International Airport. Now, there is a new company in town called the Xity. The Xity is a modern real estate developer. They are coming to Liberia to build you the most modern home. So now, behind me, this land space that you can see on your screen is about 300 acres of land, and they have 52 acres of land available for residential homes. I know you want to get, all of my friends coming up to me and say, Emmanuel Kotu, I pay for a land in Liberia, and then, I didn't get what I wanted. And at the end of the day, somebody ate my money, they took my money without giving me the place. Now you can save yourself the stress. What you need to understand is that you have a company, you have an Xity. What you need to do is just see how you can actually get a spot here. Now it takes you about 3,000 United States dollars to get a lot of land in the Xity. And guess what? You're not going to go through any other agent, or you go directly to the company and they can give you what you want. Now, individual can get up to 4 acres of land, right? So that's good. So you can say, okay, you know what? I want 4 acres because the thing is they don't want one family member to take everything. Then they have all of the structures put in place already. Talk about the house plan, how it's going to be like. So how is the Xity going to be like? Wow, I want to know. Let me take off my glasses. How is it going to be like? The Xity. So you have a residential area, you have a recreation park, you got a health center, and then you got a sport. And then guess what? What I love about this place is that you have by the beach, a river view where you have all of the modern, you can go with your canoe or your boat by the river and then be able to, but you can do all of this thing when you try to acquire a property in the Xity, right? So now, for more information, log on to www.xityafrica.com, and that is Xityafrica.com. Know how you can get connected to them. But before we go further, I don't want to talk much. Let's take a ride with the CEO. His name is Dr. Sana Ziama. Let's get on the route so that we can go through the Xity. Keep watching. This is the Counter Diary. We are telling you the untold stories of Liberia.
Xity main boulevard, the road is coming from somewhere around here, all the way in. This straight down 60-foot road, be the X Boulevard.
This is going to be another road, is that?
This road, yeah, this road be like the 60-foot road, right in the face of Xity. That's the road that goes to the airport. This road straight. So you see some of the posts. The government used to use this road before. They have the lamp post along the road. 60-foot wide road. Okay, so you see where this person corners to is actually a little bit in the face of it. Okay, here's a stand. I think that's a lamp. Yeah, lamp post. Okay. Okay, you see what they are doing? They're blending cornerstone in front of the place where they're supposed to have it. That's where they're supposed to be blending their cornerstone. You see what they're doing? So in the future, when we're ready to clear this road, we'll just clear all of these cornerstones because this is a government road actually. And then that is Xity, that way, face of Xity. This area will be the uptown commercial zone where you have the high-end hotels and everything. There's a major intersection here. The road continues to go towards the airport, and then you turn right, you are going on the other boundary of Xity. Yes, all of this is the government road. So either the government fixes it or we have to do that. So all of these things will have to clear some of these branches. Clear this entire. So these are some of the work we have to do in the future. Fix all of this. We are building for the equipment guys up there. We'll go there so you can see. Okay. We're building a 2-bedroom up there for the equipment yard. Here is like our mini block factory. We'll be bringing the machines here. We already have the block making machine. I'm Dr. Sana Ziyama. I'm a theoretical physicist. And I worked in academia for a while doing research in fundamental theoretical physics. Okay. And one of the things that I always encountered, I'll go to these very respectable places in the world where renowned scientists are. And I'll be the only Liberian in the room or in that place. Take, for example, the Institute for Advanced Physics at Princeton University. That is where Albert Einstein spent his last days. I was a visiting scholar there, right? And or say the Simon Center for Geometry and Physics. But whenever I would introduce myself in a room of reputable, respectable scientists around the world, people never knew anything about Liberia, right? People are strange. So this is not one of the areas where people remember Liberia because of the great soccer legend George Weah, right? Most people in these circles don't know anything about football, right? These are hardcore scientists, physicists. However, the only thing they would imagine, questions they would ask me were always around like, what is it like growing up in Liberia? How did you even become a physicist, from, West Africa or anywhere around there? And I wanted to make sure that we did something else that people will respect us. For example, one of the things you can do is actually making your country an economically developed country. And I wouldn't do that by all of my discoveries in physics. I mean, my papers are there. People can go and look at it. So I was really unhappy as a son of Liberia. So I decided to set aside my academic career and actually work in industry where I would have access to some other resources. In academia, I had access to top-notch talent, right? Say, for example, the universities or college that were built here in Xity, I already have the connections in academia for people who will help me with that, right? So I built that network. But the thing that was missing to be able to contribute economically to Liberia, one of the major things was the financial capital. I did not have that, and I wouldn't generate that in academic career, right? So I decided to set aside my academic career for industry to be able to achieve that. So I actually moved from doing fundamental physics research to doing artificial intelligence research for some of the biggest tech companies in the world. So I currently work at Amazon as a senior scientist and a science manager. So I lead a group of senior and junior scientists to do artificial intelligence research for Amazon. And through that work, I have managed to get a little bit of capital that I wouldn't have had in academia. And what I wanted to do with that money was to build something in Liberia that gave people the opportunity to move upward economically, right? And Liberia has multiple challenges: education, healthcare, poverty, almost anything you think about that helps countries develop and stay developed is a problem in Liberia. So solving one for me was always the question will always come and say, suppose I invest in healthcare. Well, but if you don't invest in education, how is that going to work? How is that link going to affect, right, my investment? So I decided to do something from a clean slate and start everything from scratch. And the way to do that, historically, humans have always founded cities and settlements, right? And they have decided to, like, historically, people have built brand new cultures and societies because of where they settled, right? That is how civilizations all over the world began, right? So this Xity I'm building here is a replication of what is actually an inherent human activity, right? Moving somewhere and founding a new city, a new culture, a new way of life. So for me, this is an opportunity to give Liberians that economic, the chance to move upward economically and to build the necessary knowledge and skill set and to actually employ people here. For example, there are talents in the US or abroad in other countries that want to move back home, but they don't have the job opportunity. So building something like Xity, where people can have a space for them to build their residential homes, areas where we can open top tech jobs for people abroad and at home to actually be employed at, and where we can build top-notch schools from elementary all the way up to college, right? Where we can build the skill set we need to build a better society. All of that, I'm trying to do them all at once. I don't have the money to do them all at once, but together collectively, I believe that we Liberians can do this. And that is the challenge. Xity should be seen as a question that I'm asking instead of a statement that I'm making. That can we actually do this? Can we solve this problem? And that is why I'm betting all of my financial capital, my sweat, and everything I have is going into Xity, because I believe strongly that we can answer affirmatively the question that I'm asking. So we have a residential community, we have an industrial community, like an industrial zone, a residential community, a healthcare zone, and we'll show you some of the animation of the design of the healthcare zone that we have right now, right? And we have all of these different blocks that you want in the city. This is like a real micro tech city that we are building here. And today we are standing on the banks of that city. It may not appear like much today, but wait down the line a couple of years from now, and then you will see how it looks like. First of all, before I became owner of this property, right? I never had a dime, right? But I had this dream. And acquiring this property for me is a testament that this thing is going to transform to something else. Right? So I'm inviting other Liberians as well. There's multiple investment opportunities here, right? Think about the industrial zone, for example. We're located not too far from the airport. As you saw when you were flying your drones, right? They were getting interfered because of the air traffic. So we have an opportunity to build things like commercial warehousing, temperature control warehousing, where people who are exporting and importing through the airport can store their consumables, right? Those ones that are easy to go by, right? There's a lot of opportunities here. And even within the vicinity of Xity, you saw the amount of construction work, right? Signs of construction works that are going on, right? People have to transport their goods in here, right? So building a warehouse, like a plaza, right? A building construction plaza here is also another investment opportunity. So I'm really seeking Liberians to actually reach out to us to do these things. But that's the motivation behind it. I think we can invest here.
Let's go quickly now to, is there a website that people can follow?
That is a great question. So right now you can find all of this information at Xityafrica.com. Xityafrica.com. There is no C in Xity, guys. It's Xity, Xity Africa.com. So you hit that link, type it in your browser, you'll hit exit and you can navigate there. You'll find all of the information.
All right. Is there any other thing you want to tell us? Let's talk about a little bit about the structures. You
The
talk
homes.
about residential. You talk about industrial or tech.
Yeah.
I mean, those home. If I want to own a property here, what's the average for an ordinary Liberian to own a property in the X city?
To get a home in Exeter residential community.
Yeah.
So right now, for example, we said the lot is $3,000, right? And then the home cost, for example, right now we have homes that are between, depending on the size you want, you can come down as low as 75K to like all the way to 250K if you want or beyond, right? But those are the types of home designs that we are currently offering, and we are offering more.
And what are other benefits? Some say that for instance, Monrovia has issue with what we call the sewage system.
Yes.
And then the garbage collection.
Yes.
And then you also have the issue of electricity, water. How is it going to be different?
Great. And those are the things that people should consider strongly and use that as a motivation for actually owning properties in X City. Here's how it's going to work. So we've dedicated several blocks of land. One of them is 10 acres dedicated to building a solar farm in X City to solve the electricity problem in one sector of X City. So let's think about it this way. 1 megawatt solar farm can fit onto 2 or 3 acre land. So that 10 acre we are dedicating right there, we're talking about something like on the order of 5 megawatt solar system that we can build there. And that is going to, each megawatt solar system, so let's think about US homes. It can power at least 200 solid US homes with all of the power grid equipments that we use in the US, right? So think about that. So we are going to have sufficient capacity in terms of power to supply homes here. So those are some of the projects that we are working on. We are going to develop that. In terms of water, we are going to basically build centralized water systems using these boreholes connected to each other and basically purifying some of this water and supplying your home. So you don't need to worry about that. The other thing is the organization, streets design, streets layout, right? The congestion you see in Monrovia is not going to happen here. In the residential zones of X City, I'm not talking about the major streets and in other zones of X City like the industrial zones, just the residential zones. The smallest streets there are 10 meters wide. So that means that is about 33 feet wide, okay? For comparison, the major streets you see in Monrovia, right? Those ones are about like 20 feet wide. Those are the 2-lane major streets that we see in Monrovia, right? So we're talking about 33 feet wide just in your residential community. That gives you ample space for you to take your kids out to ride their bike on the sidewalk, for you to take a cool evening walk or jog on the sidewalk, while people can drive safely on the streets in the residential community. So that is the plan for Exeter residential community.
Are you going to have like a playground for kids?
Perfect. So not just one playground for kids. So we're going to have a park, a central park for the entire X City, not just for the residents, right? Because we have people who will be working in the technology park, people who are working in the healthcare zone. So we have a central park, just a green zone for people to come and have fun, enjoy nature, right? But besides that, in each of these zones, for example, in the healthcare zone, and you will see the layout of the healthcare zone shortly in this video, but you will see that there is areas for kids to be able to play. There is a swing. There is a lot of green spaces for people to be able to play and have fun. Even in the commercial apartment zone, which is separate from the residential community. So the commercial apartment zones will be those mixed-use buildings, where by mixed-use, it just means that the upper floors of the apartment buildings are the really nice and high-end or low-income to medium-income residential apartments. And then on the lower floors, that's where you have your fancy coffee shops, like in the US, for example, you have Starbucks and things like that. But on the upper floor, you have the residential homes. So in those areas, in the central locations of those blocks will be green spaces for people to have fun, for kids to come out and play and enjoy the outdoors.
Another thing is, how soon is this going to be open?
That's a great question. So right now we are basically selling the land in the blocks, and as soon as we have 3 residential community blocks, as each block gets filled, then we start laying out the community and partitioning the land, and then we start the construction work. So right now, people who have already paid for their land, the next stage of that is going to be to clear out all of the alleys and the layout so that they can clearly see the blocks layout, and then we can start building their homes. So 2024, our goal is by May 2024, we should fill out one of those residential community, and we begin construction work immediately.
Okay, again, contact information.
info@xityafrica.com.
And how is payment made?
That is a great question. So we have various ways where people can pay. For people at home or abroad, we have multiple ways. People here in Liberia can pay. We have an account with IP Bank. They can deposit their fund there. People in the US can actually pay by multiple means. They can either do bank transfer, they can do Zelle, they can do Cash App. In fact, all of those means of payments are also on our website. So they can go to xityafrica.com. You will see a hamburger menu somewhere. You will click and you will see the pay here. You can pay for any of the services that we offer.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, guys, so you have seen an overview of the entire X city, the future city I like to call it, or the city of the future. What you need to do is that you don't have to be left out. You got to start to get your spot as soon as possible, because in the coming years, you wouldn't have that opportunity to own a land here. And this is really going to be the best city that you can actually talk about. The first, I can see a plain, estate in Liberia, owned by a Liberian. You see him there. And if you don't get a piece of land here, one lot is going for $3,000, and it's going to be in a way that not just an ordinary community, well laid out community, and it's going to be for everybody. Different architecture building will be built here. All you need to do is you select the one you want, and then you go by the plan. And electricity, water, supermarket, recreation center for the kids, playground, stadium, all gonna be right here. So right now, I'm gonna show you the blueprint, the 3D animation for the X city, so that you can now begin to rush to get your own land, and then you get in contact. The information is right there on your screen. Send an email for inquiries, and then how you can make your payment. Keep watching the County Diary. We're telling you the untold stories of Liberia. Bye-bye.